podcast number 3. This week, we've got Jordan on with us. It's John and Kate and Jordan.
Jordan's our intern.
Intern and working our way into the coach's.
Yes.
Coach's way.
Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna start this podcast. We'll talk about like kind of how to stay motivated when we get unmotivated, all that stuff. But first, we're gonna introduce Jordan, let her kind of talk about herself a little bit, and then we'll get into it. So Jordan, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your background, kind of athletically, and kind of what got you here. What got you to CrossFit Fellow?
Okay, well, kind of a similar story to Kate, to be honest. Like, I came to Jacksonville with the mindset of, like, doing soccer. Did that for a minute. Sadly, had an injury, stopped that. And I didn't really know how to do anything fitness outside of athletic performance, and that was really hard to do, like, figure that out. And I still ate like an athlete. I just had no guidance there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? We talked about it, like, there was no nutritionist or dietitian on staff or, like, anything like that.
No,
it would have been so helpful.
It would have been.
Keep going, sorry.
I got a little fluffy after I left, and I was like, this is not me. Yeah, so I was like, something needs to change now. And then my dad, the sweet man that he is like, hey, I'm doing CrossFit. Like, I know that y'all started a class there at JSU for that. And I was like, okay. And I dropped in once before the class, because Shane was here, and he was my friend, so I was like, I'll do that once. But did the class, loved it, and then I was like, okay.
You did the class?
Yeah, I did the class.
What year was that?
You were no, Shane was.
Okay.
You were pregnant with Andy. You had just had Andy.
I had just had Andy.
Yes, or like you were, like, first time I saw you, you were
huge.
Emma on your shoulders, Andy in your belly, like walking around. And I was like, who is this amazing woman doing this right now? Like, what? Yeah, I met John like once or twice before that. He did like the lectures, but yeah, it was mainly Shane that like coached it.
He was the coach for that.
Yeah. And I did that, and I was like, literally loved it. Yes, and so stayed, and I've been here forever since.
Yeah, I did not realize you took a class.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so shout out to the JSU class. If you're a college student, take the JSU class.
Yes.
We've got a good group this year.
We've had a great group this year.
They're fantastic. They're fun.
But yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So you did that in, I guess, the fall of 2021. That's when Andy was born?
Yeah.
Yes. In fall 2021?
Yeah.
And then you just stayed. You stayed and hung out.
Y'all wrote me in.
Be careful, you'll stay forever.
Yeah,
I know, it's starting to look like that already.
Yeah, so okay, I guess we got your athletic background. Now, kind of what's your plans in life?
Mm-hmm.
What you doing with your life?
Yeah, so right now I'll graduate in April.
Excited.
Fun time, so excited. And I'll be here until PT school for about another year and a half, plus just whenever my semester starts or what school I choose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not still up in the air, but that is definitely a future thing. But right now,
PT school,
yeah, physical therapy school. That's like a 2.5, 3-year program. And whenever I do that, I'll go wherever life takes me.
Nah, you're staying in Jacksonville.
I know, I probably will get roped back here.
You're sucked in.
I'm already been stuck longer than I said I would be, but I love it here. The gym has definitely been a big staple of why I want to stay longer.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. We see or hear a lot of people, including myself, not realizing that we were going to stay in Jacksonville for the rest of our life.
Yeah. I remember moving.
But it's great.
Yeah. I moved here for college and was like, okay, I'm probably leaving right after.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have an expectation, to stay longer than that. And now I'm like, it's going to be really hard to leave. Like, these are staple people in my life now.
Because you're originally from Georgia.
Yeah, I'm originally from Georgia. Not far from you. Yep. Once again, Kate.
Which is so cool.
Just a mini you.
So crazy.
Yeah, like 30 minutes from you.
Yeah.
Like,
Go Dogs.
Cartersville. Go Dog, yes. Number 1, back to back.
I love it. Well, that's awesome. And then Jordan has just recently, she's been our intern, or she will be our intern the rest of this semester. Until she graduates, we've worked her into the coaching schedule for our Ignite side, and they are loving Jordan.
I love it.
Yeah, they're so fun, aren't they?
They're so fun. I love those girls.
Yeah, they're wonderful. And yeah, Jordan will continue to do that for us, and then we'll kind of just reevaluate what she's wanting to do once she graduates. And I mean, John and I know we want her to stay, but it just depends on what she wants to do with her life. Selfishly, we'd like to keep you. But yeah, okay, so that's Jordan. So when you see her in the gym, she's still an intern, so you can tell her whatever you want her to do. Go load my barbell, go clean up. Just kidding, don't do that.
Maybe say it, please.
Jordan's done a lot of social media for us as an intern, so
I
she
love
might
it
be in your
so
face
much.
while you're working out, taking a picture. That's fine.
Don't hate me, y'all. I promise I won't do you dirty. A lot of people have already been like, can I see that again?
Yes.
Make sure nothing, like, you don't see a bad face. Like, what?
Yeah, Jordan's done great. Great ideas. Awesome ideas. So we are appreciative of that because we need that. We need people that are creative. Our brains sometimes are mush. So we appreciate that. But yeah, okay, let's get into the topic today. How to stay motivated in the gym. Because we all go through those lulls of just being unmotivated and kind of what we do to pull ourselves out of it. And so we're gonna talk through all of that. So I guess you want to talk about the different types of being unmotivated. I mean, there's so many different ways to be unmotivated.
A lot of reasons why you can be unmotivated.
Yes, a lot of reasons. I guess not types. I know all of us as coaches, Kelsey and Shane included, we go through seasons of just being unmotivated.
Yeah. What does help, I think, from a coach's standpoint, is we get to see people who are motivated when we're coaching, and it brings you back into being motivated. If you see somebody else fired up about it, then it kind of gets you fired up about it. So we have that luxury on our side where it keeps us reeled back in and engaged constantly. But not, if you're just a gym member, you don't have that outside of the people that are in the class with you.
Right.
But it's a little more difficult there.
Right.
So, but yeah, there's all types of reasons that you could be not motivated, from an injury, like a slight injury, something's just kind of nagging and you have to take it easy for a little bit. You felt like you were progressing a lot and getting a lot stronger, and then you have to take off some time, which actually you're not going to lose very much strength very fast.
Yeah. You might feel weak, like when you start coming back, but you won't.
Yeah, but still, mentally, it really gets to you. Obviously, outside of the gym, life happens. There's lots of stress. It could be work, it could be family, it could be lack of sleep, new kids,
nutrition. Like, what are you doing outside of here? You know,
old
kids. Yeah. Could be anything that kind of just, I don't know, gets you down mentally, and that's what is crazy about working out, is it's such a mental thing. So it's a mental game that you have to battle with yourself every day, but that's also the beauty of it. I remember I've written a couple times in the emails, they do a little food for thought at the end of the emails about doing something that you actually don't want to do. And that's what, when you come work out, and not just here, anywhere, but especially in these style of workouts, you come knowing that you're going to do something that's uncomfortable, that you actually really don't want to do, in terms of you don't want to feel that way. It's uncomfortable for a while. But knowing that there's going to be a reward on the other side of it, once you get used to that, it kind of keeps you coming back, and that's where the motivation comes from. So
now, what are those kind of rewards? Like, what would somebody?
Yeah, so a lot of different ways, especially in here. I think the style of our gym and just kind of the culture of it and the way it's set up. An obvious one, just working out, and this is not just here but anywhere, but if you're losing body fat and that's your goal, to look better, that's a huge reward that can keep you motivated. If you're building muscle and that's one of your goals, that's a good one too. But any sort of athletic goal or just physical goal to look differently, that can be it. That can keep you motivated. If that's not doing it for you, then let's say it could be your performance, right? Not necessarily just looks, but hey, I'm getting stronger, or I'm better at jumping, or something a little more skilled and athletic that you're getting better at. The competitiveness of the style of workouts that we do. A lot of us have that competitive itch because you quit playing sports. I know y'all played in college and I didn't, but I did play in high school.
Always remind them.
So a lot of us have that competitive itch, and the classes are not set up where like that's the main goal is just beat each other, but it's beat yourself, like do a little better than you were the day before, or the best you can, or beat or do the best that you can for that day. Depending on how you feel and things like that. There's a lot of factors that go into that. But scratching that competitive itch will keep you motivated and keep you coming back when you don't feel like it. Or it, see, that was another one we were thinking about. It could be, your friends, right? A lot of relationships happen in here. A lot of friendships happen in here. So when you're feeling down and you really don't want to work out, well, Okay, but if I don't go work out, I'll miss seeing my friends, people that are working out. And so then you come anyway and you see them fired up about working out, then, hey, you're motivated again. So those things can be big rewards that can keep you motivated and kind of
keep you
back.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get down.
Yeah,
that's going
it's
to
just
happen.
going to happen
It's
with
this
anything.
Cycle.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, and it's just a season, and you do the best you can while you're in it, and then fight to work your way out of it, though. It does take some effort to get out of it, I think.
Now, what would you say, because I think all of us agree that there's definitely, like, times where you probably should stay out of the gym, just like, you just might need that rest and recovery, and I wouldn't say those are extreme cases, but I do think that can be necessary. But if you're out of the gym, like still trying to move, just stay moving, do something, take a walk, do something, get outside, especially if it's cloudy, not rainy, but if it's cloudy, get outside, do something. But what would you say, like, if you're just feeling maybe just a little puny, nothing crazy, and you're just like, the gym is the thing I just don't want to do today. Do you think that it's like, let's just not do that at all? Or do you think it's still better to get in here and maybe not do the workout what we're doing today? Because we do have a ton of space, but just doing something on the side, like what is your take on that?
I think it could go either way. And that's kind of a vague answer, but I think you need to, psychologically, you need to accomplish something. That's where you start to feel good and get motivated, is when you're accomplishing something that is either difficult or challenging. And it could be the challenge is just getting to the gym. Yeah. You accomplish something, go hop on a bike and just pedal for a little bit. And you might find some more motivation once you get there to do a little more than you expected. And that's fine. Or if you don't need to be at the gym, you can stay home and just get a mental break completely. We do that quite frequently. But I still think you need to accomplish something at home or wherever you're at. Have some sort of challenge.
Fold your laundry.
Yeah, you get something done that's physically active. Get the blood flow going. Something simple, but accomplishing a task will go a long way for your mental motivation and health, because that's what you're doing here. You come in, there's a workout, and that's a task that's at hand, and you get it done. And so you accomplish something, and so you feel good about what you've accomplished, and then a byproduct of that is all the health things that come with it, getting stronger, getting fitter, and all that stuff too. But that was what I would say.
Okay. Something I want to highlight, because I know that we have a variety of people in here, and that's one of the coolest things that we all get to see is just a variety of different people. The competitiveness that you talked about and how that can be a motivating factor. I think that drives a lot of us, but some of us, I don't think that we either realize we're competitive or we're just not competitive. Not in everyday situations. We don't encourage a ton of competitiveness in our gym. We do, but not like anything crazy.
It's
but
not
I think
toxic.
Yes, it's a very healthy. I hope.
For most.
But I think stuff like the Open, we're doing that right now, and things like local competitions. We have the Fellow Games coming up. Just doing things like that, even if you're wouldn't consider yourself a competitive athlete in this sport. I think that's really cool to get motivated, or it can be a tool to get motivated. Absolutely. Because I didn't get to be here last night for the Friday Night Lights, but I heard a bunch of people, especially on their thruster, we don't one right max thruster. I don't think we've done a heavy thruster in a really long time. And there were several people that you guys have said they were so proud of their thruster, after all that work, then they hit something they hadn't hit. Haley Shields hadn't hit 115, 105, whatever it was, in a while. She was very pumped about it.
She said a year ago she couldn't do 65.
Yeah, and that's amazing. That's amazing, and that is probably
maxed her clean. She went over her clean.
Yeah, and even if it wasn't the thruster part that she maxed out, but she maxed out her clean. Yeah, that's huge, and it just keeps that drive going forward.
I think like you said, competitiveness can be toxic if you let it. But facilitating it, a healthy competitiveness, is good, because I think if you're never competitive at all, you're missing out on what you're actually capable of doing. You'll never know, I can actually do this. Yeah. Because when you're competitive, you'll push yourself hard, and real change in a lot of ways doesn't happen until you push yourself hard every now and then.
Right.
Not every day.
Right. It should not be competitive every day.
No. And that's where it can get a little sticky. Is if that's your goal every day is just to be the top of the leaderboard, or beat the other person, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Every single day. But it is healthy and it is motivating to scratch that itch every once in a while.
Yeah.
You need to.
Yeah.
For sure, and that's what the Open's good for.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people. I won't name any names today, but I've got a couple of people that have told me they're just not competitive. Like they're just not. But they'll tell me small things like, yeah, I usually hang with so and so on the leaderboard. Like we have the Sugar Wad app. I like to see what they did in the morning class, and then I can kind of know where I'm going to go in the afternoon. I'm like, that's a form of competitive. Not that you want to beat them, but you're competitive with yourself. Like, okay, they got 8 rounds. In the workout, you're going to be thinking, okay, this is round 5. I'm pretty tired, but I can get to that 8 rounds because they did, and we're like on the same level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's been. I'm like, you got a little streak in you.
Yeah.
You ready for it?
I think, and I can actually relate to this. I think more than maybe y'all two can. Actually, I think y'all are more competitive than me.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I say this as sympathetically as possible to the people who say they're not competitive. I think you're just scared.
Oh yeah.
I think everybody's competitive.
Uh-huh.
But when you get competitive, now you've set yourself up to, I want to win. And then when you try and then you don't win, that hurts. And so the easy way out is just to not really try, and I'm not going to really compete. Just let them have it. And that's the easy way out. And that doesn't mean you're not competitive. It just means we're scared. And I can relate to that. So that's why I can say that. Because
I think that you aren't as competitive as myself.
Sure.
Because you're so good.
That is true.
Naturally.
Though. That is true.
Like, you don't have to worry about it. You're like, oh, I'm gonna do.
You'll know you'll catch it. Like, you'll catch up.
You're just very aware of like how you work out, which is great.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. But it just things have always come so naturally to you. And I mean, I haven't known you for that long, but
That
from
does
what your
factor
family
into
has
it.
said, like things have you just picked it up very easily.
Yeah.
And that was my brother, picked things up so easily. I had to work very hard for it. So I'm competitive because I've had to be to make myself get to where I want to be fitness wise, I guess.
Yeah.
For you, I mean, we probably had 8 packs that you were 8.
It's not true.
I still don't have one.
I had skinny abs when I was little, right? It didn't count. Didn't count. I was just skinny.
But talking about just unmotivation in the gym, we see it often. We go through it as coaches, so don't think that we don't go through seasons of life where we really don't want to be working out. But I think the gist of it is still doing something, like you said, to accomplish a task.
Yeah.
The majority of us are very task oriented, and it does help. It just it kind of, even if it's for a month, like it might last for a long time. Yeah,
it's not like a one-day thing. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it lasts a while.
Yeah, but like we encourage athletes to come and talk to your coaches about it. Talk to your friends in the gym about it. Nobody here is going to judge you for being unmotivated because we've all gone through it.
Yeah,
There's
everybody does.
Yeah.
Being here long enough, if you stay in here a year, there's going to be a season where you get unmotivated.
Yeah.
And so you want to kind of lean into other people who were pretty motivated at the time, and that does help kind of bring it back. Because I think you need to, like we said, need to put some effort into getting it back. I do think, though, while you're in those times, you still need to do something, right? Even if you're not motivated at all, that's when David Goggins is. You ever heard of David Goggins?
Yes.
He's pretty vulgar, right? But he's crazy. He'll run till his feet are bleeding and 100 miles, like just nuts stuff. But he's really into the mental side of physical fitness, and I don't even know if you call it fitness at that point. He's beyond that. But he, discipline needs to kick in when motivation is not there.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where discipline matters, because I'm not motivated. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And while you're doing it anyway, fight for that motivation to come back.
Yeah.
Because that makes it a whole lot easier. That's a hard place to get to, but it's a great way to think about that. Sometimes we don't want to be disciplined. But when you are unmotivated, you have to find a little bit of that to kind of pull yourself back up. Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it. That's awesome.
To spin off of that too, the good thing about discipline is if you're disciplined in one part of your life, that's going to trickle over into other parts of your life. So most people, I would say, start with fitness. But if you start getting disciplined in working out regularly, well, then you care about how you eat, because that largely affects how you feel in the gym and how you look. So then you start being disciplined in how you eat. And then you're like, well, I need to sleep too. So then you start being disciplined in actually getting enough sleep. And you start being disciplined in, it could be your job, or discipline in all these different areas. And it's kind of this trickle down effect. But on the flip side of that, it does happen in reverse as well.
Yes.
It can snowball the other way if you get out of like a discipline or out of a routine, which is going to happen. But once you get out of one, well, then you're like, well, I'm not eating right, so who cares about the gym? Even though that's the complete opposite of what should happen.
But sometimes we go through seasons of that.
Yeah, you don't sleep well, so you're like, well, forget it. I'm going to go and get double gravy biscuits from Jack's instead of eating. That's what I do. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of snowballs. Well, I feel terrible because I just ate that, so I'm not going to go work out. Yeah. It can kind of snowball the other way as well. So,
just being careful there. Yeah.
Don't let that get out of hand.
Yes.
But also use discipline to get discipline in other areas of your life too.
Well, discipline, I've noticed, always turns into a desire. Like, that your discipline makes you end up liking it more just because you stick with it. Yeah. And you're like, wow, like, that has really paid off how much I've done it. I find satisfaction, endorphins, whatever from this. And then that makes the other things go. Right. Like how you said, discipline in the other areas. Because you're like, oh, it really does work. I'm motivated because I've seen
it. Turns into motivation.
Yes. Like, it literally just goes, and then it's like almost a necessity at some point. Like, I will not feel good this week until I get at least 3 workouts in. Yeah. Like, I gotta move. I gotta have that time for myself. Yeah. And so, I know that this past November, I was just telling Kate before, like, November, December, like 2 months, I was a little on the burnout edge. And then, like, me still, I mean, I didn't come to the gym every day. I probably wasn't even here as much as I wasn't here that much. But I still, like, went on walks. I still ran. I still just, like, did something. And that made me like it again. Yeah. Because I was doing things I liked in a disciplined fashion.
Yeah. Yes. You're exactly right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think discipline overpowers motivation. Because sometimes, too, the danger of just motivation is, like, you start working out, for example, and you're like, this is awesome. I feel great. And you planned on working out once a week or once a day, and then because you feel so great, you start doing 2 or 3 workouts a day. And then after a week or 2, you realize this is not going to last forever. And so then you just quit because you're like, I can't keep this up. There's no way. And so it can be motivation can take you too far to one way to where it's too much, and then you quit. But discipline, be like, hey, I'm going to do that 1 workout a day no matter how I feel.
Try to stick with something and make it attainable to you. Make it attainable to your lifestyle and what you got going on.
And then keep starting again.
Yes.
So when you quit and when things like life happens and you didn't get to work out for a week, just start over. I'm going to start back even though I don't feel good.
And you still might, that week that you start over or starting back, you still might not feel great, but that discipline needs to kick in. Yeah. I think that's great. One thing, because we hear this often, we have members for 3, 4, 5 plus years, and they're like, hey, I still can't get a pull-up. Hey, I still can't double unders. I still can't do certain things. And we see them kind of fading out a little, or they just get really unmotivated, that can
discouraged.
Yes, very discouraged. I guess what would we tell members that have been here for a while? Because, in the beginning of CrossFit, I think most of us see a huge incline of like movement and physical and just everything's feeling good, looking good. We're doing great. And then we hit a plateau. Yeah. I say a plateau. We'll talk about that too. Like when it comes to strength, when it comes to anything, movements, we kind of see right here, and it's not a decline unless you just quit and then, but I think people just in CrossFit, like I know with soccer, like it wasn't a very quick. I was really good at it, fast. Like, I had to work, and it was like ups and downs. Yeah. CrossFit for most of us, like, oof, it was great, and then like hitting that top peak. Yeah. And staying there for a little bit. Let's talk about that.
Yes, there's actually a lot of science behind that. Yeah. That's a real thing, and I think you see it very easily in CrossFit, which can be discouraging. That like 4 to 6 month mark, maybe 9 months, you start to not get good as fast as you were at the beginning. So what's actually happening there is you weren't getting stronger that much faster. You were getting better at the movements.
Like comfortable.
You're getting comfortable.
Yeah,
Your body's
yeah.
recruiting more muscles to help you do it. So you are getting stronger in the fact that you can lift more or you can go faster. Your body is just adapting and making you more efficient. But it's not actually building muscle that fast. So then once you've gotten good at those movements in that like 6 month to 9 month range, you've started to get pretty good. You're not a master at it, but you know what I'm saying. You start to get comfortable with it. Then you kind of settle into you're just relying on muscle growth to get better. Muscle growth is slow, all right? And so building strength is slow. And so those adaptations take a little bit of time, but mentally you've been thinking, I'm getting so much better, I'm getting so much better. This is awesome, this is awesome. And then that hits and you have a bad day and you're like, I'm just not getting any better. And so I think knowing that it makes it less discouraging when you hit that, when you get there. It's just like you're still getting stronger just as fast as you were before, but now you've reached the point where you're pretty good at all these movements. So what I would say when you get to that point is you need to kind of pick something to focus on and specialize on something a little bit, right? CrossFit, like by definition, is not specializing in anything. It's a really good foundation program for anything that you want to do, but it doesn't make you great at anything.
At one specific.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I pick something. Say I want to get, I want to get better at my leg strength, squats, whatever it may be. Okay, well, do our program as it is, and then maybe add something else to it. You can add something else to it, and be just fine. And you'll see a little bit of a faster uptick in your leg strength. Whether maybe it's you want to run a marathon. Okay, still do the program, but add some training for long distance running in there as well. And that gives you something to focus on that you can see like direct, hey, this is working. I'm getting better at this. You mentioned pull-ups. Do the program. We usually have pull-ups once a week. If you were to just say, I'm going to work out once a week and I'm going to see how much, better I'm going to get, how fast? Probably not very fast, right? So if you think about how many times we're doing pull-ups in a week, it's not that much, right? We do, there's usually 2 or 3 days where we're using upper body to some extent, but really we're going hard on, a pull once a week, and then another day is going to be a moderate to moderately light that week. Good at keeping us pretty fit and pretty strong, but it's not super fast in getting you that much better at pull-ups. So I would pick that and maybe add some pull-ups on another day to it. And we can easily give anybody those little extra accessory works. And we're talking 15 to 20 minutes, added to your week. Not a whole lot added to it in terms of volume of training, but pick something specific that you can focus on and then do that for at least, I would say 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks. Yeah. And that's 2 to 3 months. So that's a long time. If you get that microscope and just start looking at a few weeks at a time, I'm not getting any better at this, and I've been doing it for 2 weeks. You got to slow down.
Well, and I think, like we just talked about, the discipline sets in. Like, hey, I want to focus on pull-ups.
Right.
Like, maybe strength is another thing, but not right now. Like, just focus on your pull-ups right now, and strength could be the next time. You know what I mean? Like, try not to overload yourself, because then you're going to get discouraged, and you're going to get unmotivated. So I think just being really smart about your goals, and they could be huge. Like, you could have a ton of different goals, but you've got to start small. If you try to do everything at once, you're going to get discouraged, and you're going to fall off of that motivating pace. So just trying to be smart with what you want. And stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
I think you mentioned Haley Shields. So she did a really good job. And I think everybody has noticed in the past year of she's like, hey, I want to get stronger. And she got specific accessory work that she wanted to do, and she did it. And she did it. She did it very well. Even on days where it was hard, she did what she could, and really didn't know. I heard her say this yesterday, actually, after she did the thruster in the open. Really didn't know that she had gotten that much stronger until she finally tested it in the open workout, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this has worked." So that's where the discipline. You just keep doing it, and there are parts and there are times where you really don't know and you start to doubt, is this actually working? Because I feel like I'm doing a lot of work and it's not actually working.
Right.
Stick with it. Trust that it's going to work. And we are asking you to trust us on that, but it is working.
Yeah.
And then eventually it will come out that, hey, that worked because you stuck with it.
And it's going to take time.
It's going to take time.
It's going to take
That
time.
was, notice we said that was a year for Haley. Now, she also was very diligent with her nutrition, too.
She has been very motivated.
Yeah. A year is a very long time.
And she's
So
still
you
not
have
where
to
she
stick
wants
with
to
it.
be. So she's still continuing, but she's gotten to see those improvements, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just try to stay motivated the best way you can. Try not to set goals that are too unattainable. Like, goals are a big deal, and that can help you stay motivated. Just set them for you and what you want to do. And then it's going to take time.
Yeah.
But that's all we got, That's all we got is time.
Yep.
We
That's
can
it.
do whatever,
Yep.
all day, every day.
We should plan to be fit for the rest of our life.
Yeah. When you
Not
fall down.
not just, hey, I want to be fit this year.
Yeah, forever, for the rest of your life.
Just get in the habit of it.
Yeah.
I will say one quick thing that y'all talking about, like Haley reminded me of. I know there's another girl in the gym that, like, talking about working on something for a long time. She was like, I want to get better at push-ups. I want to get better at push-ups. And then one day, it was a burpee workout, and she was like, I've never been able to, like, be that good at burpees. I still can't do as many push-ups as I want, and I'm still not as good at them, but I've seen that my burpees have gotten better because I've been working on that.
Yes.
So it's not like that one, your pull-ups may not like be there where you want it, but other things, other pulling movements are going to improve because you're doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know that's your one goal, but so many other things will come
follow
out
in.
of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And that's another reason that will help you stay motivated, realizing those small things and not taking them for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, there's the big goal, but be accomplished. I'd be like, wow, I did I did more burpees than normal today. I was faster today, whatever it was. I wasn't as sore today, whatever.
Yeah.
You have to set yourself up for success, and those like reward yourself to see that, to being able to see that she got better, even though it wasn't exactly what she had planned or wanted in, on her push-ups at the time, but being able to recognize that is huge with your motivation and staying motivated to do it. And like you said, Kate, setting attainable goals is a big deal there, right? If you can't do a push-up, you're like, I need to be able to do 50 unbroken push-ups by the end of the next 2 months. Okay, probably not going to happen, right? But recognizing after a month or two that, hey, I got better at burpees, that's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
So little things like that. Set yourself up for success with, attainable goals, and recognizing when it's happening, even at a pace that might be slower than you want.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I know we're trying to wrap this thing up, but like in a workout, when you're, let's say it's push-ups. Push-ups are a great thing. Push-ups, pull-ups, sometimes we need to go.
Not my favorite.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to go a little slower there to do them the right way, if that is our goal. You know what I mean? So try not to get wrapped up in the competitiveness. Like myself, I'm talking to, like, I'm very competitive with myself. So I'm like, last time this is what I got in this workout, or last time we did 10 push-ups, I did not feel this bad. Why do I feel bad today? And don't worm them. Like, still stick with doing the push-ups the right way. Even if you're going from your knee, like, you're still going to do them. You're going to build those muscles, the strength, doing them the right way instead of doing it the wrong way. Now, there's times where that does not apply, and like, that's not your goal, so it doesn't really matter. But if it's a goal and that's in a workout that we're doing that day at the gym, don't let the competitive side take over and go slow. Like, it doesn't matter where you wind up on the leaderboard ever, but like, really just go slow.
We could go talk a long time about this. Because this is where CrossFit it can get a little sticky in terms of understanding what we're actually doing. Is CrossFit a sport, or is CrossFit a fitness program? Right? Defining that is hard because it is a sport. That's what's made it so popular, is the sport of CrossFit. So if you're talking about a sport, you want to be as absolutely efficient as possible. That means cutting every corner within the realm of what is a correct rep. When you're training, you should never do that, right? Like you said, if the standard is get your chest to the ground and then fully lock out the top, Okay, well then, and that's your push-ups, right? Then worm every single one of them if you're in a competition, because that's going to be the most efficient way to do it.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to get better at push-ups and you're doing that in the workout because you just want to win the workout, you are absolutely setting yourself way back. So there, you have to decide, and it can be day to day, but like you have to decide for your workout, because everybody's different. What do I want to get out of this?
Yep.
Do I want to get better at push-ups on this, or do I want to win? And if you want to win every day, and this is like we talked about at the beginning, the competitive side of things, this is where it can get you in trouble. If you just want to win every day, you're actually going to get, or probably not going to get as fit as quickly as if you were like, I just want to do the best or get the most work out of this.
Yeah.
And that's why we try to go over the stimulus as the coach before the class and all that. And part of that is on us, but at the same time, you have a responsibility to set yourself up for success. To do that, because if it gets in your head that, hey, I need to beat somebody, or I just need to get this done. That's the problem, is I just need to get this done as fast as possible. That is not at all what we should be thinking.
And there might be some days, though, like you said, that you just don't want to think.
Right.
And you just want to run and move or whatever it is. And that's fine on those days, but that should not be every day.
No, it should not. What I tell the JSU classes is within the realm of these are absolutely perfect reps, the exact way that I want to do them, in the way that I want to get better at them, then go as fast as you can. That's the competitive side. So now you're kind of getting both sides here. But if any of those three are breaking down for you to go as fast as you can, then you're holding yourself back in some way. So make sure you stay in that bubble of those three. Perfect reps, doing them the exact way that you want to do them, then go fast. But once you have to slow down enough, especially at the beginning, to get confident that you are doing it right and you are doing it the way you want to get better before you can start going fast. That can get us in trouble. So
and I think that's all great, and hopefully you guys will listen to this and it'll motivate you to get in the gym and kind of get a goal that's attainable for you and just keep working. Y'all are killing it. We love our athletes. We say it all the time. We love what we do. We love that we get to see you guys reach your goals.
Y'all are probably our biggest source of motivation.
Literally comes from y'all. So y'all stay motivated so we can stay motivated, please. Any last thoughts, guys? This is great. I
don't think so. Thanks, Jordan,
for
dropping in. You'll be in on some other ones too, for sure.
We'll get you in, especially when it's football season and we're talking about Georgia, Auburn.
I could talk about that all day.
Please.
Okay.
Y'all won this year, so y'all can be brag. I don't care about last year. Last year's over. Last year's over. So you can talk about this year. Y'all can have it. Y'all
and
just
then
brag
this
for a full year. You're not gonna win this year though.
You gonna win?
I didn't say Auburn would win. I said y'all won't win this year.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm getting
more
confident.
We will see.
Get more confident.
Yes.
We will see.
All right, y'all. Well, peace out.
See you in the gym.